Okay, and my good friend Eddie Jones, you know, keep up the good fight and definitely keep the faith. To God be the glory. God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Reverend Jackson from the mayor's office. He's the chief of staff for Mayor Antonio Viragosa. And what a good, pleasant surprise, our phone call for today. You know, every week we do a phone call. We call somebody. And it was good to get, we couldn't get Antonio Viragosa on, but we got the chief of staff on. That's pretty good, huh? Yeah, yeah. And he said something very key. Because when President Barack Obama was here, Barack said, if we don't vote, you know, we might as well just go ahead and tie our hands behind our back. And just, you know, we're going to go so far backwards, it's going to be ridiculous, so get out and vote. Let's get back on fathers who pay child support and they can't see their kids. That's a really sensitive topic for me. And then we're going to talk about Michael Jackson, and then we're going to get out of here. But just for a minute, let's go back on your situation. 2004 is the last time you seen your daughter. And what we're going to do is we're going to work with you to put certain documentation together to rectify your visitation rights. And we're going to exercise your rights. And that's what the Los Angeles Civil Rights Association does. And to all my class, to all the people who took my Los Angeles Civil Rights Association class, where we learned about the Constitution and the amendment rights, and we learned about the penal codes. We learned about the penal codes because there are so many penal codes. Did you find that definition on parental rights? Did you see anything with parental rights in there?
It just said
Parental liability. Okay, well anyway, and then we have our law dictionary, and we just have to be up on what's going on, and we have to learn, read, study to show ourselves approved. And you know, I thank God to work on all these different situations, because what it does is it continues to keep me reading and learning and expounding on what I need to do, advocating and consulting in civil rights. I like and I love and I have a passion for advocating for civil rights and consulting for civil rights. So, what would you like to say? If you could say something to your daughter right now, just somebody might see this show, and this show is seen all over the world. So, this show goes up on my Facebook page, and this show goes up on my Twitter page, and so it's amazing what people see.
Yeah, it's true. I just like to say to my daughter that I love you, and the day is coming when we're going to be together. I miss you. God be the glory. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And, man, Mr. Page, I got your back, man.
I know you do.
Okay. Got your back, Mr. Page.
I know you do.
Okay. You know, when I think about that, even in the work that I do, you know, working with civil rights and stuff like that, Fred and Jazz, it's not always easy. Because I too get, you know, ridiculed, and people say things, and people slander my name and cause defamation of character all the time. The media when I do press conferences, the media edits stuff that I say, and then they say I said something that I didn't say. Or they try to turn it around and, you know, but see, when you do what we do, when you go out and change policy in the sheriff's department, like we did, when you go out and fight on a case like Devin Brown, or Corey Grant, or the wrongful death of Michael Jackson, or Gina Six, or Latasha Harlins, or a whole bunch of stuff that I can tell you that Cheryl Green, that we have worked on, marched on, fought for. Don't forget about the riots in 1992, the Rodney King riots. I've worked with all that stuff. I was very, very orchestrated in assisting my home church, First AME, and working in the community during the riots. So this didn't happen yesterday. When Hurricane Katrina happened, I went with KJLH, with Stevie Wonder's Caravan of Love. I was in charge of 2 busloads of people that went there. We took a gang of those EBT cards, a lot, and we passed them out to families. And I worked there for 2 weeks in New Orleans for Hurricane Katrina, and I saw the devastation with my own eyes. So nobody can tell me, oh, so-and-so, you got to get out there, walk a mile in my shoes. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. This struggle is not easy. But God does not give the work to the swift. He blesses us to do what we do, and he gives us a blessing to take our time and watch him do the blessing. Okay? We got to give it all to God. I mean, to all. We got to surrender it all. And sometimes it's hard to do when you feel like you can do it yourself. But guess what? You can't do nothing without God. The Michael Jackson case can't get won without God. Huh?
That's right.
Huh? Everybody out there that's a fan to Michael Joseph Jackson, if you don't believe in God, then there's part of the problem right there. You want to know why everybody can't get along, or they're not getting along? Because everybody is not, if you're not spiritually on the same page, you're what they call 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 through 18. Go read it right now. It says, be ye not unequally yoked. So if you're not on the same page and working together as a unit to get justice for Michael, then you're not going to get justice. Because the people who want to see the separation are getting everything that they need out of it. And that's why we have to rectify separation. You know what I mean? Because if we don't stick together, then we can't fight this fight. Because it was a time when everybody really stuck together to make things happen as a unit, as a family. If you didn't have eggs, you could have. I have an egg, sugar, flour. What do you need? That's how we used to be. Now we go and lock ourselves up in our house with our technology, and we ain't communicating like we used to. You know, so that's something we really need to work on. And as to all fathers out there, here's my email address: COM as in Mary, ACT as in Tom, WIN as in Nancy at yahoo.com. COM-ACT-WIN, that stands for Community Activist Winner. Because that's how I started off as a community activist. 20 years ago. 20 years ago doing this. So this is not an overnight sensation. I had to read. I had to study, and I still do. Because the game changes every single day. So it's just like becoming a doctor. You have to learn all the medicine. And there's always new medicine coming out. So if you want to call me a civil rights pharmacist, then I got the drug that you need. Okay? All right? So, you know, hey, I'm just trying to break it down into layman terms, street terms. I am the dealer on the streets for civil rights. I deal civil rights.
That's some good drugs right there.
Okay. What do you think about that one, Jeff? That was good. You like that?
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. What do you think,
Yeah,
Fred? You like that? You know, I could run for office doing that. I could run for office. If I want to be the mayor right now, I could run for office. If I want to be a city councilman, I could run for office. But it's something about working with the people, like Robin Hood or something. You know? You know? And I'm not saying I'm going to steal from the rich and give to the poor, but I want to arm the poor and middle class. And the rich too. With that, we all have rights. It don't matter how much money you have, but you need to be armed with the information, the intelligence. You know, we should not have to live below our means. You know, God doesn't want us to suffer.
And we shouldn't think that we have to, because we feel like, you know, there's stuff not allowing us to do that. I think that's what a lot of people's problem is, that they think that, you know, okay, this is the way it is, this is how it, you know, has to be, when truthfully it's not.
It's not, no.
They don't have, you know, the intellectual information that they need
Wow.
to open that door.
Yeah, and if you don't know, you're going to perish because of a lack of knowledge. That's the bottom line. And that's how the judge gets you in the courtroom. When the judge asks you, do you understand what I just said? And you say yes, you didn't listen to the fine words at the bottom.
That's how they all try to get you.
Yeah.
Like, even the police,
Yeah.
everybody, because
Yeah.
they feel like you don't know. And I've realized so many times that I've said, like, you're talking to me as if I don't understand. Especially like when I go someplace, I'm like, oh yeah, I know business. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then their whole tone changes. And then it's like, okay, yeah, well, you know, so I can't get over on you that way. So I mean,
Knowledge is power.
definitely.
Read, read, read. I guarantee you, your life is going to change. And especially when you get this law dictionary right here, and you read this law dictionary, it's going to help you so much. Huh? Go on over to Barnes & Nobles and get you a law dictionary and start getting the definitions of the law.
Not even just that, and a regular dictionary, because that's what I read.
Oh yeah,
in
hey,
my free time.
you wanna hit somebody with something. Here's your Webster's dictionary. This is full of knowledge. You can use a word on a person in a second. And the thing is, they think they're using a word that you don't know. But if you read this, and this is one of my favorite books to read besides the Bible. You read this right here, you can hone in on the situation. You can analyze and evaluate the situation. And not only that, you can discuss the topic because you understand the definition of the word that is brought up for the subject matter.
Yeah.
And that's,
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
no, you go right ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and if you know what the word means and you're hearing somebody who's talking to you, especially like in a situation where they're trying to, you know, demean you as a person and you like, wait, they totally use that word out of context. So they're trying to, you know, because sometimes people think they have the upper hand because they can say a word, but if you really know what it means, you're like, you know, you just use that out of context.
Well, I want to thank, that's so right. I want to thank Tom LaBonge from the City Council. You know, he's a really good friend of mine. He's over the 4th District, you know, and is that Beverly Hills?
I believe it is.
Yeah, he's over a big district. You know, Tom LaBonge, he sits on the City Council with Bernard Parks and Herb Wesson and all the rest of the City Council people. Well, you know, I always go to events, you know, police officer events and all kinds of events because in the work that I do, I need to keep a relationship with all the working parties. Whether it's the LAPD, the Sheriff's Department, the Inglewood PD, or whoever, I have to keep a working relationship with the powers that be. So when I get ready to go in there and exercise my rights, I can start from the top and work my way down instead of starting from the bottom and working my way up. And that's very important. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. But anyway, I want to thank Tom from the City Council for sending me this picture. And it's a picture of me and Charlie Bex, our new Chief of Police.
I met him twice.
Yeah, Chief Bex. So, you know, I was at they have the new building down there, the new police officer building. And so, this is the new Los Angeles LAPD police chief, Chief Bex, and that's me and him right there. And, you know, when I have a situation or I want to know about something, I can call his office and I can I can talk to him. And that's the most important thing. Because he is the one who is over every LAPD officer in the county of Los Angeles. Every one, no matter where, South Division, whatever district, bureau, whatever, he is the chief. So Chief Bex, if you can hear me now, Deputy Chief Gannon, Deputy Chief Paysinger, and all the other high-ranking officers of the LAPD, and all my friends in the community services over at LAPD, I commend you for working every day to continue to build a better relationship with Los Angeles, California. Let's clap it up for LAPD. You know, continuing to every day strive to make things better as far as their relationship is with the community. That's important. So as long as God allows me to be a part of something like that, that's where I want to be. Thank you, Tom LaBonge from the 4th District for City Council for sending me this wonderful picture. And you're doing a great job on the City Council. And thank you for not allowing Los Angeles, California to become bankrupt. Because that almost happened, didn't it? It was like, we're almost bankrupt. I'm like, what? How can the city, the biggest city that everybody wants to come to in the world, be bankrupt? Okay, look, Michael Jackson. Man, wow. You know what? When I think of Michael Jackson, I think of one of the greatest entertainers that ever hit the stage. I mean, that ever hit the stage in the history of music. In his time, you know, and to me, Elvis Presley wasn't even big as Michael Jackson. Elvis Presley was big.
He was big.
Elvis Presley was big, but to me, he was not as big as Michael Jackson. Frank Sinatra was big, but Michael was just as big as Frank Sinatra, if not bigger. You know, Michael could walk out on the stage and people would just faint. This dude had some kind of, God made him, he was some kind of angel. God blessed him to be some kind of angel. He could just touch people. God used him to heal kids with cancer and leukemia, and he brought them in his home. He opened up his home. People don't do that